out there, and a quick overview of the warranties available with water furnace equipment. Here's some of our forced air units. We have the Envision line, which is our top of the line systems. They're available in single or dual capacity compressors, variable speed blower motors. It's going to be the highest efficient equipment out there. We also have another line called the Legend line. It's kind of more of a builder's model. It's going to be a little lower price point, but definitely still a good, solid unit. Next, we have our Synergy 3D units. So this is a high-end system. It's going to be able to do forced air, heating, and air conditioning. It has the hot water assist or superheater available, the option Dan was talking about earlier. But the one thing that this adds to the mix is it can also do your in-floor radiant heating. So it's a multi-function unit and can tackle a lot of different scenarios. We also have hydronic units available. They are going to be able to do in-floor radiant heating. They can do snow melt applications. We can do 100% of your domestic hot water with these units. They also have hot water assist options available. If you're doing radiant heat, you can also help out with the domestic hot water. So a lot of different applications that we can make use for this unit. We have split units available. Some areas where you might use some split units might be if you have to put a air handler in the attic remotely, or if you can't get the loop lines inside, you can use our outdoor split and still put in a geothermal system. We also have a full commercial product that's available to get into any commercial building. Our residential warranty, the standard warranty on all of our equipment is 10 years, parts and labor allowance. And then the accessories, when they're ordered with the unit, are going to be a 5 years parts and labor allowance. So there is one note down here at the bottom. There's the option to buy these down. So just make sure when you're working with dealers that understand what warranty you're getting with the equipment. But I never recommend buying down the warranty. You do not save that much money buying it down. So just talk to Dan at Sensible Heat, and he can kind of guide you through that process. And we have a savings calculator available. If you visit sensibleheat.net, you see this little button here. You can actually click on that and put in your address and your zip code. And you'll be able to run through a scenario and see what water furnace geothermal system can save you over your existing system on your house. Next screen here, I've got an example of what you can find. So it's going to go in and look and find your tax records and see how many square feet you have. This is not accurate. Simply adjust this slider here to match the existing square footage you have in your house. It's also going to take a look at the age of your home. This pulled up correct, but it's like I said, it's not correct. Simply click on the tab which you fit in. And same thing with fuel. So if you're natural gas, propane, electric, just click on that tab and it's going to calculate the savings if you switched over to a geothermal system that you might see. The cool thing about this is you can actually pull out your utility bills and you can dial this in to fit your existing house. So this is saying in January we're spending about $275 for heating. We could adjust that by simply grabbing this bar and adjusting it one way or the other to dial it right into the exact amount that we're spending for heating or cooling. And you can also put in your name, email, and phone number and click get a proposal, and it'll download a nice proposal with some brochures for you. And if you want to be contacted, just put that information in there, and Dan at Sensible Heat will get back to you. Let's look at a couple of economic scenarios. I've got a few of them in here. The first one we're going to look at is going to be a new construction project with a natural gas, comparing to a natural gas furnace and air conditioner. And then we'll look at a couple propane scenarios. So here we go. Here's the new construction scenario. So what we're looking at here is to put in a geothermal system on this new home project. We're looking at a cost of about $40,000. Now, if we wanted to put in a natural gas furnace and air conditioner, that estimate would be $20,000. And the great thing about the geothermal systems right now, there's some great incentives out there. There's a 30% federal tax credit. If you take advantage of that, that's huge. And this scenario is on Xcel Energy. Xcel Energy has rebates available. So in this scenario, we're going to get incentives of $13,500. So our net incremental amount to go to geothermal system is $6,500. So that's the $40,000 minus the $20,000 minus $13,500. What our out-of-pocket expense is going to be in the long run is $6,500. So let's take a look at that $6,500. Let's say we wrap that into our 30-year mortgage, and we're saying over the next 30 years, fuel prices will never increase, which I think we all know that's a pretty conservative scenario right there. So if we take a look at that, our loan payment on borrowing that extra $6,500 given geothermal is going to be about $35 a month. Our monthly savings, having that geothermal system over the natural gas furnace and air conditioning system, let me back up there, is $47 a month. So we have a net positive cash flow of $12 a month from day one, with a first year return on investment of over 8%. That's pretty good return on for your money. I want to touch a couple other things on here. The system life, but the system life for a geothermal system is going to be longer than any kind of conventional equipment. And these are averages figured up by ASHRAE, and they're the engineers kind of look at our industry and see how things work. But so we're looking at a system life of 24 years on the interior equipment. Now, this residual value down here, that's your ground loop. Our pipe comes with a 55-year warranty on it, and we're looking at lifetimes on the loop pipe. Pretty much they're going to be there with the structure. So the residual value, once that piece of equipment, once the inside piece of equipment is used up and needs to be replaced, there's still value on this geothermal system. So we've got a perfectly good outdoor loop there that we can just simply put a new unit on. You don't have to invest in the entire system again. So that's what that is. And this residual value has absolutely no effect on these numbers, but it's just there to kind of point out that there, at the end of the equipment life, there is still value to the system. Some other notes here on the side. You can look at your year-by-year savings for geothermal. And then also, in year one, that geothermal system is the equivalent of having 9 full-grown trees on your property as far as CO2 savings. So very environmentally friendly. Let's look at another scenario here. This would be homeowners who have a propane furnace. Let's say that furnace is broke down and needs some repairs, some cheap repairs. Maybe they just need a $100 repair on this furnace. Well, should they put in a geothermal system or make that $100 repair? Let's take a look. So if we did a geothermal system on this home, it's going to be about $25,000. And let's say that they need a $100 repair on that furnace. So we can see that right there. Let's say they can take advantage of the 30% federal tax credit. So we'll have $7,500 coming back in tax credits. So their net system investment is going to be $17,400 to go to that geothermal system. So let's take a look at wrapping this into a loan. There's another loan out there we'll talk about here shortly. It's called the Colorado Energy Star Mortgage. And let's wrap that $17,400 into that loan. Now we've got a 4.75% interest rate figured in here, 30 years. System life 24. And again, we are predicting over the next 24 years that the price of fuel is never going to go up. So for that $17,400, their loan payment is $170 a month. They have a net positive cash flow of almost $80 a month right off the bat. First year return on investment, over 11%. And the life of this geothermal unit is going to save them almost $50,000 and over 266,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. So pretty big impacts on the environment and on the pocketbook. Take a look at one more scenario. This is a propane furnace again, and it's a customer that's got an old propane furnace in the market to replace that propane furnace and the air conditioning system. And let's take a look at that. So again, we're $25,000 to put the geothermal system in, $8,000 to put in a propane furnace and an air conditioner, and they can take advantage of the tax credits again. So their net system investment is $9,500. Let's wrap that into that Colorado Energy Star mortgage. We're saying again, being very conservative here, fuel prices are never going to go up. They got a monthly loan payment on that $9,500 of $50 a month. Average monthly savings of $132. A net positive cash flow from day one of $82 a month. And a first year return on investment of over 16%. So those are some fantastic numbers. Gives you a few scenarios of what geothermal can do for you. And Sensible Heat has all these tools available, so you can really do a localization and figure out what size unit you need on your house, work out a quote for you, and you can put these numbers in here for you to take a look at. Some of the incentives we've got out there, the federal tax credits right now, residentially, there's a 30% federal tax credit with no cap. You do have to have taxable income to take advantage of that, but I recommend anybody that is looking at that, talk to their accountant and get some consulting there. Same thing, there's a 10% federal tax credit for commercial projects. And same thing there, I'd recommend you talk to your accountant. Some of the rebates available, Xcel Energy is offering $300 per ton to install geothermal, up to $1,500. So it's a nice little bonus. And then several of the rural electric associations also get out there. So different programs everywhere. I recommend you talk to them. And there's a few loans out there. I'll touch on those in just a second. But a great website to visit and get more information on incentives. This will give you federal, state, and incentives. Is dsireusa.org. Okay, let's take a look at some of the financing options. Water Furnace has the same as cash program. If you want to talk to Dan at Sensible Heat, he can kind of fill you in on that program. It's a great program. Definitely easy to use, and it's a quick process to get into. And also, I've talked a few times about the Colorado Energy Star mortgage. If you want some more information on that, simply go to coloradoenergystarmortgage.com, and they can fill you in on that. They've got some discounted rates available, so it's a pretty good program too. That's all I have today. Here's my contact information if you have any questions.